G'day guys and gal. When you think of the heroes of the Horus Heresy on the loyalist side, you probably think of Sigismund, or Bjorn the Fell-Handed, or Nakonai Sharikin. All of these warriors were legends, but while they struck awe into the hearts of even the traitors, only one Space Marine actually terrified him. His name was Nassir Amit, the Flesh Terror, a blood angel so brutal that even the World Eaters revered him, a warrior so vicious and strong that he had no issue out-muscling a World Eater gladiator champion empowered by Khorne. Amit was as close to the Doomslayer as the Horus Heresy gave us, and he was also the founder of the Flesh Tearers, the most brutal loyalist chapter in the current setting. Yet I bet you've barely heard of him, so now we rectify that. Before we get started, another Friday, another major mini launch. The first since the Fallen Angel of Blood, I present the Flesh Terror, a warrior as proud as he is brutal. Although many shun his violent ways, you cannot deny their effectiveness. This model comes with two head variants, a helmetless version and a helmeted version. The armor is stunningly ornate, not to mention that big ass two-handed chainsword that naturally is currently being held in one hand because this dude doesn't skip sword day. This model, alongside many more available right now. Our pre-painted service is also firing on all cylinders. Check out this parade standard Wolfmaster of the Hunt we have finished off and are about to send off to one of our customers. You can get that exact standard and model for just under $150, which includes the price of the model. Tell me who else offers that quality at that price. We've also introduced our Ultra Pro painting standard, for those of you who want a god tier, one-of-one masterpiece that features every advanced technique under the sun, the kind of paint job you could enter into a competition or just use to flex on your opponents. The new painting service has been awesome so far. Keen to get more of these done for you guys. Link is below. Today we'll go over the rise and tragic fall of Nassir Amit, showing off his most badass moments and helping people understand the Flesh Terror a bit better and how noble he truly was under that dark exterior. Let's get into it. The Blood Angels are interesting due to their own contrast with themselves. On one hand, they are the most noble legion. Beautiful angels, artists, poets, noble to a fault. That was the influence Sanguinius had upon his legion. Before this, however, they were literally the worst legion. Everyone hated them. They were called the Revenant Legion, with people much preferring to serve alongside the World Eaters or the Iron Warriors rather than them. This is because the Revenants had the Blood Angels' taste for blood, but without ever being taught restraint. They were also sent to the most horrendous war zones and were forced to recruit from the most degenerate strands of humanity. To cope with their vileness, they turned their vicious habits into rituals. They would kill captured enemies and eat their brains, reliving their memories and sensations. They would also eat their own dead, so those dead revenants could live on through them, and whenever their legion master died, another revenant would eat their entire body and have their personality overwritten by the fallen revenant, sort of like a fucked up reincarnation process. Amit was one of these revenants. He did not have a noble beginning. The dude was literally a mutant peasant taken by the legion out of necessity. The Space Marine ascension process is so thorough and advanced that it managed to wash away his mutations and frailty, making him a fully fledged Space Marine, just as physically powerful as any other, if not more so in Amit's unique case. Amit followed the culture of the Revenants and was universally feared and hated by the Imperium. In one incident, after conquering a human world, a wounded female soldier on the enemy side was being treated by Imperial medics after her people surrender. Amit approached her and wanted to eat her. The Imperial medics said no, she is alive, she is surrendered, she is not to be eaten. Amit simply grabbed a rock and threw it at her head, exploding it and killing the wounded soldier immediately before calmly stating, "She is no longer alive. You have served your duty, guardsman. There is nothing more you can do." To the medic's absolute horror, he then ate her mashed brains, reliving the moment she said goodbye to her children to try to defend her world. Amit was brutal. He and his legion were so despised that when word of Sanguinius' discovery reached the Revenants and their guardsman auxiliary, the guardsmen were terrified. They literally said to each other, "What if he is like them?" The Revenants were also scared that their gene side would see them as vile abominations not worthy of his legacy, scared that they would be forced to abandon their ways and repent their sins. Sanguinius, however, reacted differently. He accepted his sons for who they were. He didn't blame them for following their nature, and he swore to serve them until they deemed him worthy to be their leader. The Revenants were taken aback. They expected censure, not acceptance. They vowed to be better, to be noble, not because Sanguinius told them to, but because now they had an ideal to strive towards. So great was Sanguinius' effect on his sons that even 10,000 years later, the majority of the Blood Angels still maintain that nobility. Amit was also inspired by Sanguinius and eagerly took to this new noble path, but he could never shake what he once was. Instead of trying to change him, Sanguinius embraced Amit, seeing him as a god-tier warrior, a great commander who possessed a raging temper that could be quelled with self-control. Sanguinius saw the value in such a warrior and promoted him to captain of the 5th Company, a company that was mostly made up of Revenant veterans. Amit also always spoke his mind and had incredible amounts of common sense. Sanguinius trusted him as one of his greatest advisors, alongside Ascalon, the captain of the Sanguinary Guard, and Raldaron, his first captain. During the Great Crusade, Sanguinius would often play a game with Ascalon and Amit. It was a pretty cooked game, but I don't know how else to describe it. He would stand there with his eyes shut, motionless. Amit would try and strike him, Ascalon would try to defend him. The game always went the same, a great vicious duel, where Amit was relentless but a blow never landed on Sanguinius. Sanguinius became disappointed with his sons. Amit was all aggression and rage. He needed to be tempered to have more control and to be a better fighter. Ascalon was so protective of Sanguinius that he lacked the aggression he needed to end the fight. So Sangi came up with a great idea. He sent Ascalon to go challenge Lucius to an honor duel, knowing that Lucius was infuriating. He then sent Amit to go duel Khan, knowing that Khan was one of the few warriors whose rage and aggression was greater than Amit's. Ascalon was triggered into a rage against the wanker Lucius, ignoring the rules of the honor duel and just beating him up. However, for Amit, things went different. He and Khan dueled, both beating the shit out of each other. However, in terms of a raw brawl, Khan was just better at it. The only way for Amit to win was to control himself, play defensively, let Khan tire himself out, and then counter. He did so, defeating Khan and learning a great lesson in the value of control. Both warriors learnt a valuable lesson that day. When they next played the game, Sanguinius noted that while both warriors were still heavily entrenched in their preferred method of combat, Ascalon now had bursts of frenzied aggression, which Amit responded to with controlled defensive movements. Proud dad moment. When the Edict of Nicaea was issued, Amit had a surprising reaction. He was actually very pro-librarian. He saw the Psyker Space Marines as invaluable assets and was infuriated that the Emperor outlawed them. It's even theorized that Sanguinius deliberately left Amit out of the council chamber out of fear he would directly heckle and argue with the Emperor. Such was Amit's lack of fucks to give. This shows Amit's common sense though. Many of the most martial, aggressive Space Marines disliked the librarians, seeing them as cheating or dishonorable, but Amit knew a powerful weapon when he saw it. When the heresy kicked off, to say Amit was pissed would be the understatement of the century. During the ambush at Cygnus Prime, the Blood Angels were confused. They were sent to this system by Horus to slay Xenos they had previously fought. Instead, they were attacked by demons, with a lot of sus shit happening. Sanguinius tried to make excuses and reasons, but Amit simply stated, "Yeah, look, I think Horus is a fucking lying traitor." Sanguinius was so outraged that he struck Amit, but Amit doubled down, pointing out the facts of the situation. Sanguinius was prepared to rage, but then the space wolves accompanying the Blood Angels showed more evidence, and Sanguinius was convinced. Later in battle, when Sanguinius was knocked out and the Blood Angels entered the temporary Black Rage, Amit was especially vicious, killing dozens of demons. However, in his rage, he also slaughtered his Space Wolf allies, something he was deeply ashamed of when he regained control. Ascalon covered for him so there wouldn't be a massive diplomatic incident next time Sangi spoke to Lehman, with Amit desiring to be punished but was instead forced to live with the guilt as his punishment. Amit would make a name for himself in the heresy, being at the forefront of each conflict, but where he would really shine would be during the Siege of Terra. He fought on every front and line he could, with one of his highlights being his duels and rivalry with the World Eater Gladiator champion Kargos. Kargos was a part of Khan's inner circle. He was a champion gladiator and a feared World Eater, one of their best. When Khan was killed by Sigismund, it was Kargos who took up Khan's axe Gorechild. Kargos also had a close relationship with Amit before the heresy. They were chain brothers, fighting alongside each other in the World Eater's gladiatorial pits. Amit once saved Kargos' life by helping him win a sanguine extremis fight, a fight to the death against two World Eater gladiators. They were as close as could be, exactly like Sigismund and Khan, so it was destined that they would face each other near the end of the heresy. Kargos had been on a killing spree, ripping through loyalist marines like butter. He was a beast, empowered by Khorne and unstoppable. During one battle, he spotted a Blood Angel officer and rushed towards him, but was shocked that when he swung his axe, the blow was blocked, the other warrior matching his own incredible strength. No one had been even close to matching Kargos so far. Then to his horror, he realized who he had challenged. Nassir Amit, the Flesh Terror, his chain brother. For the first time in a long time, Kargos felt fear. Even his butcher's nails fell silent, which never happens. Then Nassir said, "Eat shit, traitor," pushing Kargos back and then cutting his throat. That is the word-for-word quote, by the way, not a Majorkill special. Kargos did survive this, however, and vowed revenge. Well, sometimes things play out exactly the same the second time round. The two would face each other once again, with Amit once again striking him down and literally telling him to eat shit once again. It was a good line the first time, and it was still a good line the second time. Now, in my opinion, Kargos should have died there, but he pulled a Khan and was evacuated, living on past the siege, but that was the last involvement with Amit he had. Amit fought non-stop as his brothers died around him. Even as Terra was consumed by the warp and the traitors attacked from all angles within the Imperial Palace, Amit still fought on. However, when Sanguinius died, Amit fell to the Black Rage. Even worse than the first time, he tore loyalists and traitors apart alike until the rage lifted and he felt nothing but shame. Amit was one of the few surviving Blood Angels present at Sanguinius' funeral. After the heresy, when the Legion was broken up into chapters, Amit formed the Flesh Terrors, made up of the most vicious and vengeful of all Blood Angels. They hunted down traitors during the Scouring with a bloodlust chaos that surpassed all else, until they eventually conquered and claimed a new homeworld that their chapter could settle on. Amit still tried to quell his rage, but the Black Rage called to him, so he boarded a ship and left his system, never to be seen again. Based on a vision by Sanguinius and Gabriel Seth finding Amit's helmet on board a Space Hulk that showed footage of nothing but rage, it seems that Amit did indeed fall to the Black Rage, being lost in his madness. It's actually unclear if Amit is dead or not, due to the time warp fuckery. He could be on some random world in the Eye of Terror, literally doom-slayering the traitor's tits off, or he could be a pile of dust floating in space. I hope we get to find out one day. Gabriel Seth is considered the true heir of Amit, full of rage and hate, but tempered by common sense and pride that keeps him from going over the edge. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then pick up the Flesh Terror, an awesome model to lead your army or build a new army from. Remember, we do also have some pre-painted slots open. Hit the subscribe button, hit the real subscribe button for more fleshy content. Join the Discord for more memes, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.